Coming up next is Entrepreneurs Anonymous.
The difference with the entrepreneur is if he was coconut vending, he interested in being the only person coconut vending in the world.
Stay tuned.
Life is full of possibilities, just waiting to be discovered. At Scotiabank, we believe in possibilities. For over 100 years, our customers have looked to us to help them uncover what's possible in life, in their finances, and in their future. Because when you believe that anything is possible, anything is. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
If you have a great idea, you need a great domain name. And now it's as easy as ABC. Secure your domain name plus free email, hosting, and a website builder for one low price. What are you waiting for? abceasysites.com.
Everyone has a dream, but only a special few have a story. A story about the journey from idea to enterprise. These special few know about the addiction that causes you to grow, to risk, to build, to share. This is their story. Welcome to Entrepreneurs Anonymous.
My name is Dereck Foster and I'm an entrepreneur. I was born in Guyana in 1960, and my father is a Barbadian, my mother was a Guyanese, and we moved back to Barbados when I was 16 years old. At that time, Guyana was very much a communist country, so my parents left with nothing. And we moved back here. I moved first, actually. I moved a year ahead of them, right after my CXCs, or GCEs as they were at that time. So I worked for a company for 10 years in the automotive paint business, and then I started Automotive Art. And then from there, I got married in 1985. I was very fortunate to have a lovely wife, and we had 2 kids, and who are now grown and have come back from university recently, and are back living at home, and it's great to have them back. In my opinion, I'll define an entrepreneur as somebody who starts or leads a new venture or business. I would define that person as an entrepreneur. But there are lots of people who also start businesses, their own business, that I would say are not entrepreneurs. And I would define it as the difference between being entrepreneurial and enterprising. There are lots of enterprising people in the world. That everything from a coconut vendor that is in his own business to a shopkeeper to a restaurateur. There are a lot of enterprising people in the world that work for themselves. The difference with the entrepreneur is if he was coconut vending, he interested in being the only person coconut vending in the world. And he will do everything in his power to be the best coconut vendor and build coconut vending factories to sell coconut water wherever. Same thing with a restaurateur. If he's a restaurateur and he has one restaurant, that's enterprising. If he's a restaurateur that wants to start a slew of restaurants or go into all kinds of hospitality businesses, that's the entrepreneur. So to me, there's a vast difference between an entrepreneur and a restaurant and an enterprising person. And the world needs both. I was working for this paint company, and this company that was in the paint business, I would say, was one of their divisions, and I was the manager. And at that time, the automotive paint industry in Barbados was I would say, could best be described as a dirty business, meaning that the stores were rather dirty because paint can be dirty. Everything was behind the counter, and it was really, in my mind, a bit archaic. So I thought there was an opportunity to change that business and bring it more modern and use better technology, primarily technology, but change the format in which paints were sold. I left the paint company to start my own company. For lack of a better word, to try to revolutionize that particular business. And that's what I focused on initially, with the help of some fantastic partners. So that's how Automotive Art was founded. Really was founded out of out of what I thought was a need to change the way the business was done. Because it was a business that I had some experience with for the last 10 years, I felt quite comfortable that I had a good grasp of what it was I was going to do. So basically, after I put together, I won't call it a business plan, but an overview and started putting some numbers with the help of some of my friends who were accountants, together I realized that I was a far cry away from having enough resources, financial resources, to start Automotive Art. I did have a partner who worked with me at the same company, and between us, two of us didn't have enough resources. So we fairly much knew that there wouldn't be any banking institution that would buy into this. This is a whole new business, a whole new idea. Nobody knew us. We certainly didn't have any financial clout. So we then did what most entrepreneurs, I think, would do, is look for people that could help us, that kind of understood what it was that we were going to do, and bought into it. So we went about doing that process. Luckily, I had a relationship or knew the management of Harris Paints, and since they were in the paint business already, I thought I would pitch the idea to them. They immediately bought in. We didn't even have to have a second meeting. Once we showed the kind of resources they would need to put in and what they would need to help us with, then it was just a process of negotiating on equity, because this was not going to be a loan. This was an equity investment, which rightfully so is what I would do. So they took an equity in our business, and therefore that gave us the resources we needed to start.
Business Tips, brought to you by the Small Business Unit of the Ministry of Industry, Small Business and Rural Development.
From a chance encounter with an investor to a curious customer, always be ready to pitch your business. State your mission, service, and goals in a clear and concise manner. Less is always more.
So I say, let's plan our vacation, and suddenly everyone's on Liat.com. My wife announces she'll Liat.com, a nice hotel near restaurants and shopping malls. Must hide credit card. The kids want to Liat.com, fun activities, and since someone has to be the sensible one, I'll Liat.com flights, our travel insurance, and a car. Well, sort of sensible.
Liat.com. What else do you need?
Scotiabank can help you get your business growing. It all starts with a conversation. Talk to one of our business banking advisors today. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Dereck Foster in 5 years must have Automotive Art in every part of North America. That's our 5-year plan. I want to be in every state in the United States and in every province in in Canada, in every province in Canada, and I want to be in every Latin America country. Our paint is made in different parts of the world, but primarily the paint is made by a company in Holland, and it is owned by an American company. When the American company bought it, they restricted that. They put a restriction on that we are cool with everywhere else, but not America, not Canada or the United States. So not North America. So that put a serious spoke in our wheel. So that hurdle happened about 4 years ago. And our challenge from that day forward was to find a solution to that problem. How could we find someone to produce product at the quality level that our brand is being associated with that will not have these restrictions? The issue is that in the automotive paint manufacturing world, there are very few players, and majority are very, very large. The BASF of this world, DuPont, Akzo Nobel, Sherwin-Williams, there are very few. I would say globally, there are probably less than 10 that control almost the entire automotive paint industry. And none of those guys are going to be interested in supplying us to compete with them. So our challenge was, how do we go about this? And we started looking, and we found a solution in an ex-Eastern Bloc country, Poland, where we found this company that had extremely good technology, a lot of young, bright people in it, in a country that was now, let's say, developing. Although it's in Europe, Poland would be considered, as in the first world, as perhaps a developing country. So it was like a match made in heaven. So the CEO of the company was a young guy, I would say, in his 40s. But the other partner, the founder of the company, was in his 60s, and he wanted to retire. That was our solution. Was the only way we were going to control our destiny was to control the production. So we bought the other shareholder out in Poland, and we now control our destiny. We are now in control of production to end user. And that was the biggest hurdle of my entire business career. And I'm happy to say, after a lot of work by a lot of people in our organization, we have reached the solution to our long-term success. So with that in place, no one can tell me where I'm going anymore. I will go wherever I choose to go.
BMW Keys to Success, powered by McInerney Quality Incorporated.
A key to our success, I would have to say, would be to ensure that you recruit really great people. I want to tell you a little story before, as I was mentioning about our partner, my partner and I who started. He was in a similar position in that his wife was young kids and very much similar to me. And we both had very good jobs with company cars and health plans and everything you have in a good job. And we had to give all that up. And we also had to take major pay cuts. I remember the first day before we started, we had to buy a van to do deliveries. And that was our company car between us. So we shared that van for I would say at least a year. So he lived a little further. He would come and pick me up on a morning, and we would go to work together, and we would leave together, and he would drop me home, and that's how it went on for at least a year, I think. So the adjustment in your life to start and commit to something is I think what frightens most people. So perhaps it's easier to do it when you're younger because you have less commitments. That to me was the starting point of what I thought was the most important thing in building a business, in that you have to have good people. So we have always gone about trying to recruit the best. And today our company is extremely focused, apart from recruiting the best, but making sure that we train them to our culture first, because that's very important, and then train them in everything that we sell, and so that when people come into our businesses, we would like to think that we're the authority on the subject. And that's what we've done. I mean, I remember the first, let's say, high-profile employee that we recruited. I recognized that we needed somebody to focus on our marketing and our business development as I was growing the paint business around the Caribbean. We recruited this young guy, well-educated, with a business degree in marketing, etc. To get him, he would earn more than either he or I. I remember having that discussion with my partner, but it is what it was. We needed him, and that was perhaps the best decision we ever made. And these are some of the decisions that, I wouldn't say they're tough decisions, but these are decisions that come across every entrepreneur that you have to make. Today he's the CEO of the company, and there are others along the way like him that wherever we were in our life, we realized we needed, in our business life, we realized we would need key people. We would have to find ways to recruit, but more importantly, to keep them as long as possible.
Share the joy of a Kia. Share the joy of a Kia. Feel the comfort of a car that takes you miles and miles apart. Share the beauty
If you have a great idea, you need a great domain name. And now it's as easy as ABC. Secure your domain name plus free email, hosting, and a website builder for one low price. What are you waiting for? abceasysites.com.
Scotiabank can help you get your business growing. It all starts with a conversation. Talk to one of our business banking advisors today. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Planning a business function, vacation getaway, or conference in Barbados? Visit the all-inclusive Island Inn Hotel, located within the Garrison Historic UNESCO Heritage Site and steps away from the capital Bridgetown. Let us amaze you with our simplicity, old world charm, and a true Bajan experience. Island Inn Hotel, Barbados. Let your Caribbean dreams come true.
Partnerships, in my mind, are the most important thing for any entrepreneur. But actually, it's the most important thing for anybody, to be quite honest, because I think you got to start with the right partner for life. And if that's important to you, I think that I started with the right wife. That led to finding the right partnerships with other people. It was very important to me to find partners that believed in me and believed in what I was doing, but more importantly, understood and were committed to seeing it through, because I think that's perhaps the most important thing, is that everybody got to be committed to making this venture a success. What influences the vision of a small Caribbean person to go outside of the Caribbean, or in fact to take on the world? I think a lot of people have that vision. Caribbean people are not limited by their vision. I think they have lots of vision. I think they're limited perhaps sometimes by their resources, sometimes by who they associate with, sometimes they get bad advice. I mean, look at the recent Olympics. I mean, we had Usain Bolt. I mean, he is the athlete of the Olympics. I don't care what anybody tells me. The entire Olympic Games went to see him run. Everybody in the world wanted to see him run. It's the same vision as lots of people in the Caribbean. But remember, it comes back to all about executing. People sometimes are not committed to their visions, and they don't want to do the work, and they see these obstacles that seem insurmountable at times. But instead of looking for solutions, on my wall in my office, I have a poster that says, "Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your mind off your goals." So if you continue to focus on your goals, success to me is, going global is, anybody can do it. Once you're committed, then you find the solutions to going global. I think relatively speaking, in terms of population, mass, GDP, however you want read it, I think there are a lot of successful Caribbean people around the world. Sometimes you have to move out to the Caribbean to be successful. Today we sell in 30 countries. We sell our products in 30 countries. We're branded Automotive Art through our franchise program in 10 of those. And we have, don't hold me to this, I want to tell you 20-something stores in all that are either owned by us or franchisees owned, but are branded Automotive Art. As I mentioned, most entrepreneurs recognize very early that there's nothing but hard work involved. And certainly in the beginning is a lot of hard work. As I told you, I had a partner that started with me in the business, and both of us worked in the business. So what he did was he stayed in the store to deal with any customers coming in the store and managing the inventory and so on. And I hit the road. So basically I went to all the body shops and showed them how to use the paint, how to use our paint, showed them how it worked, showed them the advantages, etc. Because one of the issues we had at the time was that the technology was quite a bit different and much more advanced, but it also came at a much higher price if you brought it down to the volume, the liter of paints, let's say. But if you brought it down to the car, what it took to refinish a car, then it was a lot more competitive, but the results were dramatically better. So the only way to do it was to show it. So I spent the first year or more, maybe 2, in body shops all over Barbados, showing them how to use it, actually spraying the paint and going through with them. And if they had any problems through the process, going back and helping them solve the problems and getting them on board with the program. And we hosted a lot of demonstrations. We were the first company in Barbados to really hold demonstrations at our premises or in body shops to show them the advantages of our products. I would define success as finding a balance between what's important to you. So in my life, there are three things that are important to me: my work, my family, and my friends. And the success really comes in finding the balance between those things. And people have different things that are important to them. Some think religion is important, some think health. There are a slew of things that people think, but I think real success comes when you find the balance of whatever you think is important. In my opinion, in my life, my most important thing is my family. They sacrificed a lot in the beginning when we were starting the business, especially my wife. So, but at some point, things are going to be out of balance. You know, you have to focus on your work more, and sometimes you got to focus on your family more. Sometimes you got to focus on your health more. But the point is, you should always be working to get back to the balance. Even if you recognize that for some period of time, one of these things is going to have to require more attention. In my opinion, you reach success when you've found that balance. And I think that, to me, is what really success is about.
If you have a great idea, you need a great domain name. And now it's as easy as ABC. Secure your domain name plus free email, hosting, and a website builder for one low price. What are you waiting for? abceasysites.com.
Hi, my name is Danny Fenty, the owner of and creative director at Vivid Gear Studios. We are a design studio dedicated to producing quality, affordable, cutting-edge, creative solutions for your productions. Amongst our other services, we produce high-end motion design, music, and 2D animation that will surely engage your target audience. But ask any entrepreneur. Starting your own business is not the easiest task in the world. It takes hard work, lots of time, and a whole lot of patience, not to mention risks. That's why we support Entrepreneurs Anonymous, a support network for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs, a place, a haven where we can share our experiences, provide solutions, as well as give and receive encouragement. It is an ideal place for any entrepreneur, no matter how young or how old. Entrepreneurship is an addiction, and let's face it, we need our circle.
Life is full of possibilities, just waiting to be discovered. At Scotiabank, we believe in possibilities. For over 100 years, our customers have looked to us to help them uncover what's possible in life, in their finances, and in their future. Because when you believe that anything is possible, anything is. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
So I say, let's plan our vacation, and suddenly everyone's on Liat.com. My wife announces she'll Liat.com, a nice hotel near restaurants and shopping malls. Must hide credit card. The kids want to Liat.com fun activities, and since someone has to be the sensible one, I'll Liat.com flights, or travel insurance, and a car. Well, sort of sensible.
Liat.com. What else do you need?
Like everything in life, I believe the people you associate with are what makes you successful or what can allow you to be successful. So for me, the people at Automotive Art are what I am most proud about. They've done remarkable things from a very small company in a very small country, and in some instances we're surrounded by small-minded people. So all of these small things have not detracted from the vision of our organization to be a global company. So I would have to say the people are really what are the success of Automotive Art. From a business point of view, obviously, you know, we are a well-recognized brand in a lot of countries, but especially at home. We are starting, certainly in our paint business, and our brand, our brand is Automotive Art paints. So that's starting to get recognition, certainly in the Americas. And we are hoping that one day that brand would be recognized around the world. So the success for us is wherever we go, we want to see Automotive Art. When we started in the business, for example, we brought in all new technology, new ways to sell automotive paint, a whole new format of retailing. There's nothing that you came into our store that wasn't new, perhaps with the exception of some of the products, which we, from different vendors. But everything was brand new. There were so many naysayers, whether it was bankers or accountants or other people. There were so many naysayers telling us that the painters weren't educated enough to embrace the new technology. They weren't going to feel comfortable in this environment, blah, blah, blah. There was a slew of negativity. The real success was when we started in business, there were over 15 people selling automotive paint in Barbados. In 2 years, there were 2. Automotive Art and another competitor, who today, they're really only 2. This is 22 years later. He started shortly after us. I must say, he exactly understood what it was we were doing, and he did it too. And kudos to him. And thank God for him, because between us, we eliminated all of our competitors because the customers immediately embraced it. So it just proves to show that, regardless of your background, none of the painters at that time had any real education. Actually, if you went into bodywork and painting, it's probably because you might have failed at school or something else. It was a career of last resort. But I think we showed painters how that you could actually make this a profession and you could actually make a decent living doing this, and they rewarded us for it. Today I'm involved in other business ventures outside of Automotive Art that the person has excited me that was in the venture. So I tend to invest in people that excite me or I like or feel comfortable with. So there are other businesses I've gone into that some I've liked, some I've not liked, but I can't think of something else I wanted to do more than what I do today. Today, I'm still extremely passionate about Automotive Art, and I can't think of a business that I would love to be in more than that. I think entrepreneurs are quite different. We may have a few traits that are similar, but they are different. And there is no right or wrong way. I think it's just your way. So you have to be committed to your way. But you also have to be open to ideas. I am a firm believer that there are no original ideas. They become original when somebody executes them. Having an idea, well, in this room we could probably come up with 1,000 in an hour. So ideas are a dime a dozen in my opinion. The execution of the idea is critical. You have to be committed to getting it executed, and you have to find the people that can help you do it. Whether they're investors, whether they're your partners, whether they're employees, whatever they are, you have to find people that are committed to executing the idea. I would like to say that everything is possible. Once you have a goal and you continue to work towards it, I think you could achieve anything with your life. For those who are out there that want to participate on the global scheme, call me, because we're still looking for a few good people.